3. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am, but why would you say that I am mad? Disease has sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all, was the sense of hearing acute. So why then will you say that I am mad? Hark, there's a real help to me. How calmly I can tell you the whole story. The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. It's impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain. I loved the old man, but I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. You should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight. I went to work. Every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of the door and opened it, oh, so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in the dark lantern, all closed, so that no light shone out. And then, I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. Would a madman have been so wise as this? I undid the lantern cautiously. Oh, so cautiously, with the hinges cracked. I undid it just so much that a single thin ray fell upon that vulture eye. And this I did for 7 long nights. But I found the eye always closed. And so it was impossible to do the deed, for it was not that old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. I had my head in, and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped upon the fastening, and the old man sprang out of bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quite still, and said nothing. For a complete hour, I did not move a single muscle. I resolved to open a very little crevice in the lantern. You cannot imagine how stealthy. Until, at length, a single dim ray shot from the crevice and fell upon that vulture eye. It was open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it, that dull blue with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow of my bones. And now, have I not told you, what you mistake for madness is but an over-acuteness of the senses? Now, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury. The beating grew louder and louder, so that the heart must burst. And now, a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had to come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. I shrieked once, and once only. The old man was dead. His evil eye would trouble me no more. Still you think me mad. You will think so no longer. When I describe the wise precautions I took for the concealment of the body. I dismembered the corpse. I cut off the head, the arms, and the legs. I then took up 3 planks from the flooring of the chamber and deposited all between the scantlings. I then replaced the boards so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye, not even his, could have detected anything wrong. When I had made an end of these labors, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by one of the neighbors during the night, and the officers had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. I took the visitors all over my house. I bade them search, and search well. I led them at length to his chamber. And in enthusiasm of my confidence, I placed chairs into the room and desired them here to rest, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officers were satisfied. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted familiar things. But ere long I felt myself getting pale, and I wished them gone my headaches, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still they sat and chatted. At length, I found that the noise was not within my ears. No doubt I grew very pale, but I talked more fluently. It was that low, dull, quick sound, much as a sound as if watchmen when enveloped in cotton. I gasped a breath, and yet the officers heard it not. Why would they not be gone? The noise steadily increased. Oh, God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. It grew louder, louder, louder. Some men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Is it possible they heard not? Almighty God, no. No, they heard, they suspected, they knew. They were making a mockery of my heart. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt I must scream or die. Villains, I shrieked, dissemble no more. I admit the deed, tear up the planks. Here it is, that beating of his hideous heart.
My name's Matt Leaguer of the Reduced Shakespeare Company, and today I'm going to attempt a feat which I believe to be unprecedented in the history of theater. That is, to capture, in one theatrical experience, the magic, the genius, and the towering grandeur of the complete works of William Shakespeare. The complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged by Jess Borgeson, Adam Long, and Daniel Singer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that our society's collective capacity to comprehend, much less attain the genius of William Shakespeare, has been systematically compromised by computers, vandalized by video games, saturated by soap operas, and dealt its death blow by Monica Lewinsky. But have no fear, the Reduced Shakespeare Company is here. I descend among you on a mission from God and the literary muse to spread the holy word of the bard to the masses, to help you take those first halting steps out of the 20th century quagmire of Geraldo and Donahue and Oprah Jesser Raphael and into the future, a glorious future. Join me in taking those first steps down the path toward a brave new world of intellectual redemption by opening your hearts. Yes, please, open your hearts and your pocketbooks, or simply charge your donation to your Visa or MasterCard by phoning 1-800-THE-BARD right now. Give me your cash if we be friends and deduct it when the tax year ends. On with the show, and may the bar be with you. Thank you and hallelujah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in putting together this complete work show, I've run into a bit of a problem. That is, how to make 400-year-old plays accessible to a modern audience. Well, one popular trend is to transpose some of Shakespeare's plays into a modern setting. That's why I'll be performing Shakespeare's first tragedy, Titus Andronicus, as a cooking show. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Gomez, and welcome to Roman Meals. I'm your host, Titus Andronicus. Now, when you've had a long day, your left hand chopped off, your son's murdered, your daughter raped, her tongue cut out, and both of her hands chopped off, well, the last thing you want to do is cook. Unless, of course, you cook the rapist and serve him to his mother at the dinner party. Me and my daughter Lavinia will show you how. Good evening, Lavinia.
Good evening, Mama.
And how are you today?
I said, Mama, I got my own doctor.
Oh, that's too bad, but we'll get our revenge, won't we? Now, hark, villain, I will grind your bones to dust, and of your blood and of it I'll make a paste. And with that paste, your coffin I will rear, and make a pasty of your shameful head. Come, Lavinia, receive the blood. Now, the first thing you want to do is make a nice clean incision from the carotid artery to the jugular vein, like so.
Yeah, Mama, that's very gross.
Be sure to use a big bowl, as the human body contains about 4 quarts of blood in it. And when he is dead, which should be right about now, I will grind his bones into a powder small, and with this hateful liquor, separate it. And in that paste, let his vile head be baked at about 350 degrees. And 40 minutes later, you have the loveliest human head pie, fit to serve a king. Now, who will be the first to try this delicious taste treat? Good evening, Dread Queen. Will it please you eat? Will it please you feed? Is finger licking good? Okay. That's all we have for today. But be sure to tune in next week, when our guest chef, Timon of Athens, will teach you all how to make ratatouille out of our special guest, the Merry Wives of Windsor. Until then, bon appetit! I hope none of you were too offended by Titus Andronicus. Shakespeare, as a young writer, went through an early blood and gut stage. No doubt that if he were alive today, he'd be in Hollywood working on Titus Andronicus 9, Just Desserts. But let us now move on to explore some of the genius evident in some of Shakespeare's more mature plays, with the brooding tragedy Othello, the Moor of Venice. Now, I looked up Moor in the dictionary because I thought it was a place where you tie up boats, which in its context is totally pea-brain, because the word Moor in the 16th century referred to a black man. Now, I'm going to have a bit of a problem doing it, though, because, well, I'm not a black man. But I have an idea, so just kind of bear with me. Now, here's a story about a brother named Othello. He liked white women and he liked green jello. And a brother named Iago who made himself a menace because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice. Now, Othello got married to Desdemona, but he took up all the wars and he left her alone. It was a Mona, a grown-up. He left her alone. Now, he didn't write a letter and he didn't telephone her. Desdemona, she was faithful, she was just and tight. She was the daughter of a duke and she was totally white. But Iago had a plan that was clever and slick. He was crafty, he was sly, he was sort of a prick. He said, "I'm gonna trap them all. How you gonna do it? Tell us." "Well, no, his treasure flaws that he's too damn just. I need a dupe, I need a dope, I need a kind of a smoke." So he found a chump sucker named Cassio, and he tied on him Desdemona's handkerchief. So Othello gets to wondering, just maybe if, while he'd be out fighting, commanding the army, Odysseus and Cass playing hide and salami. Salami. So he goes back home and sticks a pillow in her face. Kills her and soliloquizes about his disgrace. But there's Amelia at the door, who he met in Act 4, who said, "You big dummy, she won't know whore. She was pure, she was clean, she was fragile too. So why'd you have to go and make her face turn blue? It's true, it's you. Now what you gonna do?" Now Othello said, "Yo, this is getting pretty scary," so he pulled out his knife and committed Harry Carey. Now Iago got a plan, probably cut the plea, packed up his bag, and moved to Beverly. Let's take a bit of a break from Othello, shall we? And move on to an abbreviated version of Macbeth. And after much thorough research, I am able to do so in a perfect Scottish accent.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Stay ye in perfect speaker. Tell me.
Macbeth, Macbeth, beware Macduff. None of woman born shall harm Macbeth. Till burning wood come to loosening, don't you know?
Well, that's dead great. Then what? Fear, So you'll tell me, and know that I was from my mother's womb until my roots? What do you think of that? Well, that's bloody disgusting. Oh, Macbeth, he killed my wife. He murdered my babies. He shot in my stew. No, I didn't. Behold, realize ye usurper's cursed head. Macbeth, he answers off the windy. And no, there never was there a story of blood and death than this of Mr. and Mrs. Macbeth. Thank you. Caesar, on the other hand, had a much beloved child.